Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we've got my baby naming video for girls and boys. I have not yet found out whether or not we are having a girl or a boy, so I will not be sharing the names we have picked out. My style of naming is stronger, more vintage. I just like those kind of old kind of names. But let's go ahead and start in with our girl names. Our girl names, a lot of them have an A theme to them. All of our girls, their names start with A, so if we have a girl, I want to go ahead and continue with that theme as much as possible, but I did throw in some names that I like that I would have considered otherwise, but let's just go ahead and get right into it. Our first name is Ava. Again, I like it. It's cute. It's a little short, which I'm not a huge fan of, but again, I don't hate it. Avery is another cute name. I've heard it for both girls and boys, and I think it's really, really pretty for a girl. Adley is another name that I personally like. The problem is Abby's favorite show on YouTube is A for Adley, and as much as we both love that name, it doesn't quite sit well with my husband because it reminds him of that. Another name that I like is Esther. Now, Esther is my favorite character in the Bible. I love her story. I love the symbolism. I love everything about that, and I would totally name my daughter Esther if my husband would let me. And again, it's just something that he's not a huge fan of. Charlotte is another name that I like. It's old, it's feminine, it's strong. Not necessarily my personal style. I mean, it's a little not out there, just not something I personally would choose, but again, it's super cute and I would totally consider it. May is our next one, and I almost named my second daughter, her middle name was almost May, but my husband really liked the name we have for her already, and I just wanted to go ahead and let him just have that name for our second daughter. The next name I have is a name I found on YouTube, looking for cute names that start with the letter A just to kind of secure the name we have already picked out, and that is Adette. I fell in love with the name. I would have totally been all for it, but my husband looked at me and said, heck no. So unfortunately that name is not on our list. The next name is Olive or Olivia. Either way works for me. You could also spell it with an A, Olivia, in the beginning, which would have been cute. I think for me the name is just a little too common. I grew up with too many Olivias, so not really something I personally, it's too common for my taste. Oakland is another name I like. It's cute, it's pretty, it could really be used either or, Oakland or Oakley, either for a girl or a boy. I think it's pretty. You could always call her Lynn. Not necessarily a favorite, but definitely not something, I do definitely like it. Aubrey is another name I really like for a girl. It starts with that A. It's a little too common. Again, it's strong, it's more vintage, it's cute. It's just a little too common for my taste. Another name I really do love, and it's super feminine, is Madeline. Again, would totally consider it if it weren't as common as it is. I grew up with too many Madelines or Maddies, and I hate the nickname Maddie. So again, it's just not something that would be my favorite. Aspen, again, is another really cute name. I love it. It starts with an A. It's feminine. My problem is it sounds too preppy. I don't want my kids to sound like they go to a prep school or like they're popular. It sounds really, really preppy to me. Now, the last name on my list is a name I really, really like. It's old. It's kind of like that 1940s era. But I said the name, and my husband, again, just was like, heck no. And that is Bonnie. I know a couple of older ladies named Bonnie. I think it's super, super cute, super feminine. It's not necessarily something maybe for a younger kid, but definitely as my child grows up and gets into adulthood, I definitely just see the name Bonnie coming back. And I love it. Super cute, super feminine. Moving on to our boy names. Now, these names here, they don't necessarily have to start with A. The boy name we have picked out does not start with the letter A. We had that name picked out since My oldest was in the womb, and that's just the name we've stuck with this entire time. But they are more biblical names. They are stronger, very masculine kind of names. But let's just go ahead and get right into it. And the first name I have is Charles or Charlie. It is a name that does run in the family through the generations, so that for me is a huge component in naming my child. I love it. It's older. It sounds kind of old manish, which works really well for a cute little boy. I absolutely love it. And either way, I could totally just see myself calling a child Charles. The second one I have is Abel, and I really like that name because of in the Bible, Cain killed Abel because Abel gave God the better offering. I think it's super cute. It does have that A name to it, or that A beginning. Not necessarily my favorite name, but definitely something I would consider. Next one I have is Weston. Now I do really like W names for a boy. I think it's super cute. A little too common for my taste, I think. Not necessarily my favorite, but definitely something I would consider. The next name is another name that's I've heard going around YouTube. I think it's cute. I think it's great for a little boy, but also would be awesome for growing up, and that is the name Kellen. It sounds older, it sounds masculine, but also really cute for a little boy. I would totally consider this. I don't know if my husband would like it or not, but I definitely would love it. The next name on my list is a name that my grandma suggested when I was pregnant with my oldest. And if we didn't already have the name we have picked out, or we had already had a boy and gave him the name that we have picked out, I would be pushing so hard to use this name. That is probably the name that I would just kind of have to tell my husband, this is the name I'm choosing. So, and that is the name Clarence. I would almost guarantee it. Now, the plan is to not have any more kids after this. We are planning on being done, but I don't want to say never. So if in the future we happen to have another child, and we do happen to have another boy, if we have a boy this time around, then we're going with the name we have picked out. But if in the future we ever happen to have two boys, I am going to go with this name, and just the name Clarence. I don't know if I said it or not, but I love the name. I am in love with the name. I think it's super cute, super masculine. Again, it's old manish, so I really do like that. I'm very strong growing up. I could see myself calling my little baby Clarence, and then growing up as they get into adulthood being a Clarence. Yeah, so this would definitely be a name I would name if I ever have more than one boy, or if I ever did have one. Again, we're most likely done now. I don't want to say never, but yeah. The next name on my list is William. I really like the name. I think it's cute. I think it's strong. I have two problems with that. One, I don't like the name Will as a nickname, and two, I know too many of them. So that kind of makes it weird for me, but if it weren't as common as it was, kind of like my girl named Madeline, if those two names, like William and Madeline, kind of go hand in hand to me, if they weren't super common, I would totally consider it for a name. Hudson, another name that I like. Cute for a little boy. Not necessarily something I would like as an adult name, growing with my kid growing up, but it's just a little too common again, but definitely something I would like. Judah, another name I found going around YouTube. Super cute. It's biblical. It's a strong name. I love it. I would consider it. I don't know if my husband would like the name, but I definitely would consider it. Lance is the next name on this list. I like it. It's old. It's strong. It's masculine. It's old man that you could totally transfer to a little baby. So I would consider it. I don't think it's my favorite name on this list, but I don't think it's a bad name. Number 10 on my list of boys is Theodore. It's cute. I kind of think of Alvin and the Chipmunks when I hear it though, but if I could take that aspect of it out of it, I would definitely consider it. And it's one of those names where if my husband were to push for it, I'd compromise on it, but again, not my favorite. Same with the next name, and probably the last couple of names here. Gideon. It's a strong name. It's a biblical name. It sounds a little bit, I don't know. I don't want to say Greek because I know it's not. I don't know whether or not it's Greek or not. It's a strong name. It just doesn't quite feel like it would fit with our naming style. Same with Vincent. It's a strong name, it's a good name, it's a little too common for my taste, but again, that's one of those names that if my husband were to push for it, I would compromise. And the last name I have, again, super cute, super strong, and I really do like it, and that is Xavier. Is it my favorite name on my list of boys? No. Is it a name I like and would definitely consider? Absolutely. And again, those are all, like, I've got, like, I look at these two lists here, I think of names that I like and would be willing to compromise if, like, my husband were, like, all for the names. And then I think of names that I would totally push for, and, like, if it were up to me and me alone, I would totally do that. And those names, of course, include Clarence and Charles and Charlotte. Esther would be another one if it were, like, up to me. But those are just, like, if it were up to me and me alone. But, of course, you know, my husband, you know, he's a part of this just as much as I am. He gets every say in the book when it comes to naming our children. So, yeah, with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful if you are trying to figure out names for your children. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video. God bless and bye, guys.